Folks, it is that time of year. It is my favorite time of the year. Yes, it's fantasy football drafts all over the place, but I get to talk to one of my favorite people in the biz, fantasy football analyst slash expert, Michael Fabiano of Sports Illustrated. I love talking to Fabs all the time. Fabs, how are you doing? Great to have you back. And how are you doing during this time?
It's wild. It's busy. It goes from 0 to 100 pretty quickly when you get to this point of the season, but it's fun. And now the NFL is throwing some wrenches into our rankings with all of these sudden these players being traded, some other guys getting caught. So it's all about keeping up and trying to make sure that I got my rankings and my analysis as up to date as possible, because like this is when people are drafting. Like this week leading into Labor Day, a lot of drafts going on.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. Speaking of your rankings and everything, somebody high that I've noticed that you're high on is Chicago Bears quarterback Caleb Williams. Is it the effect of Ben Johnson coming in with that offense? They drafted Coastal Loveland. They've revamped that offensive line. Is that kind of where you're leaning with that?
Yeah. I mean, kid's got all the talent in the world. There's no excuses now. Like last year with Shane Waldron, there was excuses. And he still finished, I think, 15th or 16th in fantasy points at quarterback. So it wasn't like horrible. It wasn't, like Bryce Young is a rookie. But when you look at what they did, they also added Luther Burden. And I just think that the Bears, with the offensive line additions, and they made several of them, they're in a really good spot here to be a much better offensive team. I'm not saying they're going to be the Lions right out of the gate. Yeah. Maybe it's going to take a little bit of time. But the weapons are there. I love Roma Dunze. I think he's going to have a very good season in year two. DJ Moore is solid and consistent. You mentioned Loveland. They already have Cole Kmet there as well. So they have a good mix of young guys and veterans who could potentially help Caleb Williams and will help Caleb Williams be a top 12 quarterback this season. I don't think moving up 3 or 4 spots is insane. No. I have Caleb ranked in the top 12. And I expect him to end up there short of some sort of injury.
Fabs, somebody that I saw that you're a little bit down on, and I kind of agree. I mean, everybody's picking them to make it to the Super Bowl because of the defense and everything. I did not think Sean Payton did enough to surround Bo Nix with experienced receivers. I know they have Cortland Sutton, they got Evan Ingram, they brought in J.K. Dobbins, but I thought they could have done more to bring more experience around him, especially with some of the free agents out there. What are your thoughts fantasy wise on Bo Nix?
So here's the thing. You have to go and look at trends and think outside of the box in fantasy football. I'll give you an example. Last year, everyone was on CJ Stroud. The Texans brought in Joe Mixon. They brought in Stephon Diggs. Oh my God, CJ Stroud looked really good as a rookie, and he did. And then last year he stunk. And because people don't think about the offensive line and just listen, sometimes quarterbacks and players have a sophomore slump. I can't in good faith suggest that Jaden Daniels is going to have a sophomore slump because I love the kid. And I don't think he's a guy who I would be worried about having any kind of sophomore slump. I could see Bo Nix not producing the same fantasy numbers that he did last year. I could see it. And not that I don't love the kid. I have him in my top 10. I mean, how the hell do you not have him in the top 10? He's a good player. He looked good. He's got Peyton behind him. But just like weird things happen. And so I'm trying to like pick and choose like where, like, I don't like Saquon Barkley this year. I don't want him. He's going too high. I'm worried about regression. I don't want him. People are drafting Christian McCaffrey in the first round. No, thank you. I don't want him. It's too high. So like, you can't just simply go into a season and be like, rah, Bo Nix was great last year, which means he'll be great this year. No, that's not how fantasy football in the NFL works. So you've got to go ahead and like, kind of pick your battles and plant your flag. And I'm not saying that Bo Nix is going to be a horrendous bust at all. I'm not saying that. But I don't think he's going to be as good as he was last year. And I do have my concerns that when people look at the numbers that he posted as a rookie and they think, well, he's got a year of experience under his belt and he's got Sean Payton and I don't think that I love Evan Ingram. I got to tell you that I do love Evan Ingram.
Yeah.
But he could be even better. I don't know. Like I kind of feel like if there's one quarterback who's going to endure a sophomore slump out of the two that were just stupendous last year, it's probably going to be Bo Nix.
Yeah, no, I get where you're coming with that. Two sophomore quarterbacks now, 2 sophomore receivers that I've noticed you're very high on. Ricky Pearsall from the 49ers and Marvin Harrison Jr. Just what do you kind of see from each of those guys?
So Marv put on some muscle in the offseason, which is good. I mean, every receiver is not Jamar Chase and Justin Jefferson and come out and just like smash in year one. Even Marvin's dad, who's a Hall of Famer, he wasn't good in his rookie year. Honestly, he wasn't really that great in his second year too. He didn't really start to come on until a little bit later on in his career, if you look at the numbers. But he's the number one receiver in Arizona. Outside of Trey McBride, who else do you trust there as a pass catcher? I like Kyler Murray a lot this year. The Cardinals have a really easy schedule, at least based on last year's data. And so that's why I think he'll take a step forward. He wasn't even in the top 25 last year. I think he gets into the top 20. And then Ricky Pearsall, who the hell else is catching the ball in San Francisco? I mean, they don't have anybody. They had a trade for Sky Moore, stunk in Kansas City for how many years? So Pearsall's talented. When he played a little bit last year, he showed a couple of flashes here and there. But Brandon Ayuk, listen, we don't even know when he's going to be back. I mean, Kyle Shanahan's saying, maybe week 6. Juwan Jennings has got a injury, but I don't know if that's more of I want a new contract extension injury or not. I don't know if he's going to be available for week 1. The Niners are saying he will. I don't know. They're just banged up at wide receiver. And so Pearsall right now, and I think if Jennings if there wasn't any like sass going on with Jennings, I would have Jennings ranked higher than Pearsall.
Wow.
Easily. But right now, like people are drafting Pearsall ahead of Jennings because of what's going on with Jennings in the contract and, whatever or not he's hurt or not. So, but Pearsall, opportunities, talent, Kyle Shanahan offense. So there's not a lot not to like. The one thing I worry about is durability.
Fabs, is this the year? We've been talking about it every year for the last 4 years. This is the year that Kyle Pitts is going to blow it up. He's going to do very well in fantasy football. You're shaking your head. Why? Is this not what?
Listen, man, I mean, I wake up in the morning, the sun comes up, you kind of get used to it. It's the same kind of thing with Kyle Pitts. He's burned me so many times. I don't know how old you are, but do you remember the old Peanuts cartoon where Lucy is holding the football and Charlie Brown is ready to kick it, and Lucy pulls the ball up at the last minute and Charlie falls on his bald head? Well, that's the thing that's going to happen if you draft Kyle Pitts thinking he's going to be a starter. Stop. And now I'm getting into my Jerry Seinfeld voice. I beg you to stop with the Kyle Pitts stuff. It's not going to happen. Okay. It's not going to happen. Like, I don't even know what to say. Guys, I don't get it. Like, draft him as a tight end too. Sure. Go ahead. Do it. It's fine. Every year with the Kyle Pitts crap, ever since his rookie year. Listen, he's a bust. That's it. How many guys break out in like their 5th or 6th season? Like, I think Devontae Parker might have. It just doesn't happen very often. So, yeah, draft him as a 2. But, I don't know. People just, continue to, well, he can do it. Well, why did he do it the first 4 years? Outside of his rookie year, where he had a lot of yards, but didn't have a lot of touchdowns. I don't know, dude. I'm not saying I wouldn't draft him as a tight end too, but it's going to be really late and with low expectations.
And you know what? We were talking 49ers, and I completely forgot to ask you. A lot of people are coming out and they're saying, like, even his own teammates, hey, Christian McCaffrey, he looks like he's ready. Christian McCaffrey looks like he's back at that MVP level.
What is it? What are his teammates going to say? Well, the guy's always hurt. Yeah, I don't know. Again, no, I don't want him. Not in the first round. It's the first round. Like you treat that with kid gloves. If your first round pick goes belly up, you're screwed.
Yeah.
For the most part, unless you make some, smart trades, or maybe you grab somebody off the waiver wire and why am I drafting a guy in the first round who's played 7 or fewer games in 3 of the last 5 years? Why am I drafting a guy in the first round who played 4 games last year, got hurt again, and scored 12 points per game? Why am I drafting a running back, no matter how great he's been, and he's been great, who's 29 years old? The offensive line has got question marks. I don't get it. Like, if McCaffrey was in the second round, would I take a chance on him? Yes. Okay, second round, all right. I'll roll the dice. It's like no risk it, no biscuit kind of thing.
Yep.
But you're really risking it for the biscuit in first round. That I just don't want him there. I just don't. Yeah. It's too much risk. Like, I want to know that I'm getting Jamar, I'm getting Bijan, and people will say, well, Fabs, you think Ashton Genty's worth the first round pick? Okay, Ashton Genty's a young guy coming out of college who is an absolute beast, who's going to be the centerpiece of his offense. And so is it guaranteed he's going to be, the guy? like he's going to be awesome? No, but there was no guarantee for Saquon Barkley in his rookie year. There was no guarantee for Emmitt Smith in his rookie year. Like, go back. You're taking a chance on it. I'd rather take a chance on a young dude who has got all the talent in the world than a guy who's 29 years old and is freaking always hurt. I just don't want to do that in round one. I just don't.
Yeah. So I want to bring it down. I wanted the woo-saw. I'm gonna bring you down.
I
a
like
little
the
bit.
heat, man. I
love it. I love it, and that's why I love.
My background from like radio is like Mike Francesa and Chris Russo, like Mac and the Mad Dog.
Yeah.
And Dog was like, and they were like I love like ramping it up. But go ahead.
Well, I'm waiting for you to go, and I'm awesome.
My buddy.
You knew I was gonna bring that one up.
Yeah.
Who's your camp? Who's round one? Who is your guy? Who's your can't miss prospect, or who's that one pick? Not in round one. Sorry, I just meant in general. Who's the guy that you're drafting in every single one of your leagues? So you say that guy is gonna be something this year, and maybe not a lot of people know.
There's so many. Like, I mean, I have a because again, you got to think outside of the box, right? So, Pearsall's a guy that I definitely like. There's no question about that because of the opportunities he's going to have. I like Brenton Strange in Jacksonville, and he's getting picked really late. Trevor Lawrence likes to throw to the tight ends, and I know the Jaguars just acquired Tim Patrick, but who cares? I mean, he may not be like more than like their fourth or fifth receiver, so I don't care about that. But Brenton Strange is a guy that I like. I love Drake May this season. If you look at the numbers that he put up rushing in the games where he started and played the majority of the snaps, he would have been on pace for over 600 rushing yards. I mean, as a quarterback, if you do that, you're going to be in the top 12. So Drake May is definitely a guy that I like. I've started to like Jaylen Warren more and more because Caleb Johnson's reports out of camp were not good. If you can't pass protect and your quarterback is Aaron Rodgers, you are not going to be on the field.
Yeah.
So a lot, at least, certainly not on passing situations. So that is a little bit of a concern. So I almost compare it to like Chase Brown and Zach Moss. Like I was on the fence last year, but I went with Moss and I was wrong. It was Chase Brown. This year, I'd rather have Jaylen Warren. Like, Caleb Johnson, people, he could be like the new Najee, blah, blah. I can't catch the ball. And also you got to worry about pass protection. So Jaylen Warren's another player, that I'm looking at. Honestly, like if you want to go deeper, like just like dart throw guys, right? Just dart, like Trey Benson in Arizona, right? Is James Conner going to stay healthy all year? Last year he played 16 games, first time in his career. Braylon Allen, a lot of really good chatter about him in Jets camp. Breece Hall, I'm worried about him. Is there going to be a committee in New York? Remember what Aaron Glenn, was part of in Detroit last year. Obviously, he's a defensive guy, but they used multiple running backs, certainly better running backs than the Jets have. But they used multiple running backs, so that's certainly a player that you want to keep tabs on. I mean, like there's no shortage of players who I like. Jake Ferguson, not a sleeper, but his best season in fantasy came when he was a starter and Dak was a starter, and they played together the whole year. Well, last year Dak got hurt and Ferguson's numbers went down, but now I think Ferguson's numbers go back up. They signed him to an extension. He could be a top 12 tight end this year, and you're getting him like really, really late. So those are some of the players that I like that I'll be targeting, later in my drafts. Well, Emeka Egbuka is another one. I love him.
Yeah.
I dig him the most. Like I love him. I don't know what's going on with Chris Godwin. Apparently he did not get put on PUP. I'm not sure what the scenario is going to be there with Tampa Bay. Are they going to bring him along slowly? I'm not sure what's going to happen there, but I know one thing. Jalen McMillan is not going to be out on the football field for a long time. And Baker Mayfield raved about this kid. So he's another player that I really like this year.
What's your advice? Some tips that you have of how to approach a fantasy draft. Do you pursue value over all else? Don't draft according to rankings, zero running backs, or just go with upside in the middle and later rounds?
So, see, I draft in a lot of leagues with a lot of sharks, right? A lot of experts. And the one thing that we all avoid is drafting quarterbacks too early. So in home leagues, that might not be the situation, but I don't draft. Like I've been trying to get Kyler Murray, Justin Fields, Dak Prescott, Drake May, and those guys can all be had round 9, round 10, somewhere in that area. Because I want to load up on offensive skill position players. I want to have my first 5 picks. I want to have 3 wide receivers and 2 running backs. And then in the 6th round, I may be looking at a tight end, maybe a Sam Laporta or TJ Hawkins and someone like that. I like balance. I've never done a 0 RB. I've gone close just to see, maybe my first 3 picks are wide receivers, and I don't have any problem with that, especially in a full point PPR. And then maybe the next 2 are running backs. So you still get like the 3 and the 2 after the first 5 rounds, which is fine with me. I mean, tight end, I like to get a decent one. I don't want McBride or Bowers because it's just too expensive. I don't want to pay that high price for a tight end. I just don't. I'll get Jake Ferguson. I'll get Evan Ingram. I'll get David Njoku. If I can't get, say, Laporta or Hawkinson or Taylor Swift's fiance, that's what he's known as now. Okay. He's no longer Travis Kelce. He's Taylor Swift's fiance. So yeah, good for them. I'm very happy for them. Hopefully this kicks him up a gear and he has a better season than he had last year, which I don't really expect, but it is what it is. It
could distract him.
I mean, wouldn't Taylor Swift distract you? I mean, geez Louise. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So, so that's my strategy. I load up, like, if I'm in a 15, 16 round draft, like I want 5 running backs, I want 5 wide receivers, a couple of quarterbacks, a couple of tight ends. If you draft a kicker in a defense and you only draft one of those and you draft those with the last 2 picks, and look for your sleepers, like after round 9, like Pearsall, for somebody like that, or a Brenton Strange, or grab a Braylon Allen. Make sure you're handcuffing where needed. If you draft Christian McCaffrey, you better get Brian Robinson Jr. If you draft Kenneth Walker, you better have Zach Charbonnet, because you don't want somebody to go down who has historically had injury problems, and then you're stuck holding the bag because somebody else has got your backup running back in that situation.
So I asked a friend the other day, how many fantasy leagues are you in? He said 81. How many? How many 81?
Are you? Yeah, I mean, they got to be best ball.
Probably. I don't know. Yeah. So like, I'm like 81. How many are you in?
Last year I was in 18, and I says, okay, I can't do it. And 18, where I had to set my lineup, I'm like, I'm out. I can't do it. I know it's what I do for a living.
It's a lot.
I want to have some semblance of a social life from freaking September until Super Bowl. So I think this year I'm going to have like 14 leagues where I have to set a lineup, and then like a bunch of best ball where I draft and I don't care. I'll look at the end of the season and see what happened. It's what I do, and I love what I do, but I hate finding myself having to root against the same players when it comes to the playoffs. I hate that. Like in the regular season, it's like, it is what it is. But once I get to the playoffs and I need this guy to do well in 3 games, and then I need this guy to suck, the same guy in another one, it's like, what am I going to do? I'm like, I typically you can't shoot the moon. So I tried to cut down a little bit. So I think I'm like down to 14. But like, when I tell you that most of my drafts have not happened yet, we did the Sports Illustrated Invitational already. Scott Fish, I already did. I already did a Fantasy Football World Championships high stakes draft. I actually did 2, another Experts Leagues draft, so that's 5. Everything else is still coming.
Are you still in that league with Rollins and Miz?
So I call him Colby because he's my friend, and he's, to me, he's Colby. But yeah, Seth Rollins, no. Okay. He dropped out last year. He's got,
because football sucks.
But Mike, yes. Mike, we play in the Alice in Chains League. Okay. We've been playing in that league together for a long time. That draft is actually coming up, I think Sunday. If I'm not mistaken. I'm still literally like, I'm on my phone texting with my buddies. It is impossible to freaking get celebrities together to draft on one day at the same time. And I'm not a celebrity. I'm just a dorky fantasy guy, but all the other guys, like, it's impossible. And Jerry's on tour right now. Jerry Cantrell's on tour and a solo tour. So that makes it even harder. So I'm trying to get this draft together. We already have everybody who's going to play. We just are not sure when. I think it's going to be this weekend. But then I have another high stakes draft next week. And then I play in other leagues with like friends who are in the industry. I run a league called the Ladies Only League, which is a lot of the great female analysts and reporters in the NFL. Some actresses, Molly Burnett, Rachel Lindsay, they won it last year as a team. So yeah, I'm the commissioner of the Howard Stern Fantasy Football League too. So that's going to be drafted. I actually got to text those guys because I'm not sure what time they're going to be doing their draft. So I mean, it's a lot of busy work, especially when you're a commissioner. I run 3 dynasty leagues, 2 dynasty. So there's a lot going on.
Social life is taking a hit from now till February, but that's why you're one of the
man. Yeah, it's insane.
That's why you're one of the best in the biz. And again, I appreciate you jumping on. One last question. I know you're a WWE guy. John Cena ends his career in December. Just your thoughts on the 23-year run of John Cena.
I thought the heel turn was a complete failure. It was a complete failure. I loved Cena.
Well, the Rock screwed it up though.
Well, yes, Rock did. And I don't know behind the scenes like what really happened, but yeah, that whole thing when like I want your soul or whatever all this stupid stuff was, and then he just disappears. And the whole Travis Scott thing, get these freaking celebrities out of the damn ring.
I know.
Okay, Logan Paul's awesome.
Yeah,
this guy's good. But like Travis, come on, kid, stop. Like with the stupid. Okay, if you want to have him come out or whatever, because it's a celebrity. I don't even know what Travis Scott is, honestly, because I'm a metal guy. I'm like 52. I don't give a crap about like a lot of the music that's out today. I guess he's a rapper, right? I don't know. I just became so uncool with people. But Cena is one of the greats, and obviously, more championships than anybody, more than Ric Flair. He had 17. But the heel turn could have been awesome, and it sucked. And then he went back to being a face, in a conversation with Cody Rhodes. And I was like, what? What? So WWE messed that up.
Yeah.
And maybe they won't admit it. They messed it up.
Yeah.
But the good news is that, another thing too about the Brock Lesnar. I don't know, little stuff going on behind the scenes with the Brock Lesnar stuff. I don't know.
He was getting booed. He was getting booed on Monday when they mentioned him in Birmingham.
And I don't know what's going on with him. I don't understand. Is it just to fight Cena? Before Cena goes, is he going to get back into the chant? I don't know, but there's a lot of stuff behind the scenes. And if you follow wrestling, you know what I'm talking about. I was kind of surprised that they brought him back. Yeah. But yeah, Cena's one of the greats. And I met him once. I guarantee he never, because Nicole and Brianna are dear friends of mine. They're like sisters.
Oh, I love them.
Obviously, Nicole was dating John Cena for a long time. So I got a chance to meet him, one time. He seemed like a nice guy. I mean, it is what it is. But I don't really know him. I'm actually in the WWE locker room league. Yeah, awesome. I weaseled my way into that last year. So,
that's awesome.
Yeah, well, Kofi, but some of the guys are not even in WWE anymore. Joe Hennig is in there. Mark Henry is in it.
That's awesome.
Stu Bennett. I mean, Wade Barrett. You know what I mean? So yeah, right. So I mean, a lot of the guys. Some Chad Patton, who's the referee, he won the damn thing last year.
Oh, wow.
And we Trophy Smack made a belt for him. Trophy Smack is freaking awesome, by the way.
That's awesome.
Anybody who wants it, awesome. Use Fabs, code Fabs, and you get a free ring.
There you go.
And sorry, I'm always
plug whatever you want.
I'm always
this is your show.
Plug si.com/fantasy. All the stuff on that page is mine. There's a ton of stuff up there, and everything's updated as much as humanly possible. Lockdown Dynasty podcast with me and Marcus Mosher 5 days a week. Hopefully you guys should check that out. It's always a lot of fun. The fantasy football forecast is going to be starting with me and Amber Theo Harris in week 1. So the first Friday of week 1, that'll be out all over the place. And you can find me all over the social media. So
this guy is a busy man. He took the time out to jump on here. You know him. We love him. Fantasy football expert, Michael Fabiano. Michael, thank you so much for jumping on with us. You are the man, and good luck with all the leagues, all the commissioner leagues and everything that you got. And good luck with the social life until February. We know how you feel. So, but hey, football is here. Let's go.
I know football's here, and my Hinge account needs to be unsubscribed now.
Thank you, Michael.
You got it.